Hello, and welcome to another episode of Power Half Hour Unstoppable Business Owner. And for today's sponsor, we are still going with the 24-hour Open Your Hearts, Open Your Wallets fundraiser for Leukemia and Lymphoma LLS Society and for all other blood cancers. I'm super excited today because today's guest is Damon Pistulka. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you. Thank you, Dorothy. How are you today?
I am doing amazing. Little
Yeah.
sleep, doing amazing. I've had a
Oh,
cup
that's
of
great.
coffee today. I had to be awake.
Yeah. That's good though. That's good though. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll have fun today.
That's right. We
Yep.
are we are on fire, and I just really want the world to know who you are, because I mean we had such an incredible conversation when I was getting to know you, because I'm like, man, this guy is just so powerful, and I would really want the world to know him. So tell the world a little bit about yourself.
Okay. So first of all, powerful. No, I wouldn't describe myself that way. I've made a lot of mistakes, so I know
It's
kind
all
of
part
not
of
where to
learning.
go. Yeah, it is. It is. And someone said it to me, said something about it, talked about being an expert, and I said, well, no, nobody. If you're an expert, you really won't say you're an expert. First of all, but to get better, you have to make a lot of mistakes. So, but what we do, my name is Damon Pistulka. Exit Your Way. What we really do is a combination of consulting and investment banking, business brokerage. And the reason why we do it like this is because my partner and I both started out running companies for investors, private equity, investment owners, holding companies, whatever you want to call it. We were running companies, and he started a brokerage after we had stopped working for other companies, and I was off consulting. And then about 7 years ago, we combined back together, and we started working in the business. He had a business brokerage for about 5 years before that, and he was buying, selling businesses. And I started working with him for about 6 months, like I said, 7 years ago. And it was like, this is, I'm kind of blunt when I talk. So I hope I don't offend people, but I just said, this is stupid, right? Because we sit down with a business owner and we go, hey, Dorothy, your business is worth $1.5 million or $500,000. Just pick a number in your head that it says, and they go, wow, that's not worth that much money. And I really, I want to retire, and that's not nearly enough money to retire.
Mhm.
And in the investment banking / business brokerage world, it's like the answer after that is, okay, well, when you're ready to sell your business, come back and talk to me. And or I'll keep checking in, whatever they're going to say. And what good did that do that business owner that's sitting there? It didn't do them any good at all. They are not. If they would have realized this 8 years ago that it was only worth what it is, they probably would have changed the way that they were running their business, grew it a little more, saved a little more, whatever that was, or they would have grown their business to a larger size. And really, what we do now is we help business owners do that part, get it to the size you need, so it's the value you want, and we prepare it so the next person is going to be very attracted to it, and the buyer is going to want to buy it. Because the second thing is, even if your business is worth enough money, there's only about 75 or 80% of businesses ever get sold. So working on the businesses and making it attractive, we can get into the 90% range, and we can usually double or more the value of the business for the owners, depending upon where they need to go. Sometimes it's a lot more than that, but so they actually can get out of the business with the money they want, because it's about as a business owner, you've got this wealth generating machine that you either use it or you don't.
Right.
So this is what we do, is we help them get that wealth generating machine going and working like they want, get them, you know, out of the business a bit more, get the business running like it needs to be, and get it to the size it needs to be so they can get out.
And that's what I thought, like when we were talking. Sorry, I'm trying to type in your information in the comments. That's why I'm looking down. When
Yeah,
we
no
talked,
worries.
I thought it was so interesting that you start with the end in mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
How much does the business owner want when
Yes.
he retires, when he wants to sell his business, and then you work backwards.
Yes.
Um,
That's the
I
first thing you have to start with. Because I mean, if you don't know, first of
yeah.
all, we always say, Dorothy, if you don't know how much you need, here are some financial planners that you need to go talk to because they can help you figure out how much money that is
Mhm.
and what your investment portfolio that you've got today, plus what you need the business looks like. It doesn't even include us. We don't even get involved in that. So you can come back and feel comfortable about the number that you need. Because
Right.
this is the biggest decision point for anyone that's selling a business is I'm the cash flow of the business goes away after I sell it. So what I'm left with, is that enough?
Yeah.
It's usually the biggest decision. Of course, when businesses get bigger, it still changes. It's like how much impact. I mean, if I'm leaving money to children or
Right.
philanthropic needs, it's all different. But they still want to know that they're getting the right amount of money.
Right. So how do you take a look or say, okay, say the business owner wants $10 million when they retire. Like you said, anybody can tell them, oh yeah, their business is worth this, but really on paper, if you look at it, it's all just fudging around if you get the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can make a bank make a set of books look good, trust me.
Yeah.
So how do you advise your clients then to go from this business, once you really take a look at things and say, okay, wait, you think your business is worth 10 million but it's really only $500,000? What are the first things that you do for your client to say, hey, let's get you to that $10 million that you need, and this is what we need to do it?
Yeah. So the first thing you do is you cut through the chase of what I say, what you think as the business owner it's worth, and you go out and look at comparables.
Right.
Now, comparables are not just something you can get off the street like you can for a house, but if you are subscribing to the right places like the banks do, we subscribe to the same places the banks, and we go, okay, businesses like yours sell for this range. It's usually a range of profitability. And if you get them, start there and go, okay, this is a realistic value for your company. And of course, we go through the financials too. You got to, yeah, you can fudge, got to cut all the fudging out, got to get it down to the real stuff.
Right.
And then get a true value. And then if we need to, we actually go out and do some test marketing and talk to people that would be buying those kind of businesses. And we often do that. I shouldn't say if we need to, we often do that. And we do that throughout the process, maybe sometimes even multiple times. Because if we're working with somebody for a few years, we'll go out maybe say 6 months down the road and test market it and talk to a few buyers and go, okay, where are you valuing things like this? Because they're always happy to look at something. And what are the things you like and what you don't like? And we go back and go, okay, now this is where we're at. We know it's not just we thought, we compared it. Now we actually went out and tested and know where we're at for sure. And really take it out of the hands of, the owner, how much they want. That has very little to do with the overall or what we think, or, it's just really what they will pay.
Welcome to our friend Inger.
Yes.
So, and that is great, and you're right, because as a business owner, you're attached to what you have,
Mm-hmm.
and you think you see things differently. But sometimes we need to come down to reality, and that's basically what your business does.
Yeah.
And I love that. I never even heard of such a company before till I talked to you. All this, networking on LinkedIn and getting to know different people and things like that, and just shining the light on business owners that you know not everybody may know you. Maybe a lot of people do, maybe a lot of people don't, but
Yeah.
I always say, my thing is to make sure that people do know about certain people, and you were one of those ones that stood out. So what 3 things have you overcome to get to where you're at today in your business?
What have I overcome? Um, Overcome myself, first of all. I mean, any business owner, anybody that really strives to do something that they've never done before, it's the first hurdle, really, overcoming yourself. And it didn't help that I was a self-doubter, for the although people look on the outside and go, whatever, but self-doubt. It made me effective in some of the work I did, because you double check, recheck, that kind of stuff when you're that way. But it was overcoming myself really and believing in the fact that I do know things as well as I do to be able to do this, and do it successfully and have fun doing it. Because I think that's the other thing. The overcome. Honestly, I don't look at things like that. I think that we're all going to have challenges. I mean, I've been in bad business situations. I've had things where, in our company, which is not huge, $1 million deals could just evaporate overnight. I mean, where you go, that $1 million deal, you wanted that $1 million deal kind of thing. It was setting up a whole new level in your business and those kind of things.
Right.
And overcoming that and being able to reset, take off and go again. I think that's the thing, just that some of the roller coaster being an entrepreneur is really a lot of it. I grew up on a big farm in South Dakota. I'm so far away from where I started. I really don't know how I got here, but when you look at overcoming things, I had a father that he got in an accident when he was 16 years old and lost all but 6 inches of his left leg.
Wow.
And he decided to be a farmer. And watching him growing up, and I mean, he didn't let it stop him. He had a prosthetic leg, didn't work worth a damn. I watched him getting on and off equipment, one leg. I saw him working cattle. I saw him break his leg numerous times. I mean, just so it's like snapped in half, fall on the ground. We got to go, help him over to some place and back at home and fixing it up again, and patching his stump up because it's so bloody and beat up from being up and on it all day. Never complained once.
Right.
So I grew up one of those kids like, what am I complaining about? And I didn't realize that till I got older. My dad never even got a handicap sticker until he was in his 60s, I don't think, because we didn't even know what it was. Right. And growing up, it was awful funny. There's some funny stories. Because you go to a hotel and you're carrying a prosthetic leg over your shoulder. Because my dad used use crutches once in a while when he didn't feel like wearing his leg. As a kid, you don't know any different, right?
Right.
But you get some looks. It just, I could remember, I still remember somebody just looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? But I'm just back to the point. And my dad, he really set an example where it's like, you just don't let things bother you. You just don't let them, and you lean into it and you go, it may not be like you thought. It may not be like you thought. And sure as hell, my career has not been like I thought. Right. But if you lean into it and you just do that little bit that you can do. Don't let it make you curl up in the ball. Just that little bit that you can do. And then do that little bit again the next day. Pretty soon you've gone a long ways. And, I've just used that. And people have talked to me before and said, well, how did you come back for this, that, and that, and that? Honestly, I don't even think about those things. Yeah. And like I said, back to the beginning, the biggest hurdle has been me.
I love that you said that, though. Because I think every business owner goes through this. I mean, if you don't, then kudos to you. But yeah. I know my biggest challenge has been getting over my mind. And I have big, audacious goals and dreams. However, I sometimes get tripped up on the how-tos. Like, how am I going to get this? Like, how is some small town girl from Chatham, Ontario, Windsor, Ontario, going to accomplish all that is on my to-do list? When I tell people I wanted to be the next Oprah, that I actually haven't gotten one person that laughed at me, but I'm sure they were like, I don't know how she's going to do it. And just knowing that it doesn't matter what other people think. It matters, like you said, putting one foot in front of the other, the consistency of making those small steps daily. And sometimes I have to remind myself that, just show up. Showing up is half the battle. Yes. And so I love that you said that. And I'm sure you probably programmed your mind not to think as obstacles, but as to, okay, what's next. And I love that, but I love that you said the it definitely is yourself. And I think if we were all honest with ourselves, every business owner, that is definitely what we have to do daily. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
meet
It is.
ourselves at the mat daily with God, and like Inger says, your yes, mindset is everything. You know,
Well,
and I love that you said that.
and skill set, right? Skill
Yep.
set too, because was a lot of times business owners think that, oh, I've got a business, I'm going to run my business and things are going to be great. Well, what you've got today is what you, because of what you knew and did yesterday.
Yep.
And if you want to get something different tomorrow, you got to do different things today. You've got to increase your skill set. You got to change the way you're doing things. You got to really think about it. And that's quite honestly, most of the work we do with our clients is really about, okay, your company is got 7 million in revenue, and to get the value you want, it's got to be at 10 or 12 or whatever the number is. It's like, okay, what are we going to do differently?
Yeah.
What are the kind of things that we need to do? And it's never like some crazy, this whiz bang thing's going to do it. It usually is putting one foot in front of the other and doing like you said, and just making sure that you're doing the right things every day. That's getting that incremental improvement to get you there.
Absolutely. That
Yeah.
is critical and key. I know a lot of people, it's funny because I heard this somewhere, that there is a person that works for a facility. They've been the bookkeeper there for 15 years. Not once has they taken the time to update their education, or even go for anything higher than, college level. Um, and they were upset because they couldn't get the raise they wanted, but they didn't do anything to increase their knowledge. If
Mm-hmm.
you increase your knowledge and show what's the word I'm looking for? Show
Initiative, or
yes.
that you're going to do more. I mean, I
Right.
was just reading something in, what tag was it? It was a Brian Tracy book. I think I'm got on Audible now, and he's talking about someone that wanted to increase their wage by 50%, and what they did is um, they started to do more in their job for their boss than they were doing before without being asked.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of like 4 or 5 months, they increased their wage by 50%, because they were, or more than 50% actually, because they started, well, I could do this for you. I could do that for you. I could do that for you. And the next thing you know, their boss is raising their wages as they go. And you're exactly right in that. If that takes skill changes, if it takes difference in what you're doing, expanding the work you're doing, or rethinking what's going on, that's the way to make progress.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
what 3 things do you help your clients overcome?
First of all, their mind. What is possible? What is possible? Um, and that doesn't happen right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like with ourselves. It's no different. They're doing it with themselves. It's like, your business is not like this anymore.
Yeah.
We're looking here. We're looking at that hill up there that we're going. That's where we're at, and we're on our way there. It's just like, it's not like we are kind of going there, because if you want to kind of go there, let's don't even start.
Yeah.
And know that we're gonna run into the into the squalls and the storms, and and the naysayers, and everything's gonna happen along the way. But if we just keep our eye on that prize, and we measure how we're moving as we get there, I really help them. But that is the biggest thing. See where the heck you're going, and then start marching.
And I like what you said. To me, what I heard was, you have to be all in. They have to be all in,
Yes.
not halfway in, like
Yeah.
half, if either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And the
Yeah.
commitment. So definitely, so your ideal client needs the commitment. So you are willing to give your commitment to help them, but you need that commitment back, in order for it to be a win-win situation, and
Yeah.
for them to thrive. Because I'm sure I'm sure you don't take a client when this guy is really not going to do what I say anyway, so he's not going to find the results, so there's no sense
No.
wasting my time or his time.
Yeah.
Because I can see that in you, like, you're definitely a very integrous man, and you want what's best for your client.
in the end, they're going to be disappointed. Even if they think they, even if they think they can give you I can give someone a magic pill, pay me enough money and I can't do that. I mean, it's going to take work. It's going to be hard work, but in the end, it's worth it. In the end, it's worth it, but it's hard work to get there. And if you are one that might not put in the work, figure out something else, because it's not going to be easy. And I love that you brought that up, because I mean, we have turned down a lot of people because of that. It's not something you can just have somebody else do.
Right. And that's what I liked. That's what I liked about you. Like right away, I got the sense like this guy is the guy that walks the walk and talks the talk, and definitely, is there for his clients. He's not just gonna just tell them what they want. Like if you know you can't help them, you're not gonna sit there, no matter if it is $1 million deal, and say, oh shit, well, yeah, I could do this, just to get their money. But that's not who you are, and that's not what your company represents.
No, we have specialists that's why people always go, why the heck do you network on LinkedIn like you do? Why, you got whatever they say about it. Because a lot of people look and they think I'm crazy. Well, I am crazy. But the other thing is that I know specialists in just about any business problem that you have. It needs somebody that understands sales in this little niche piece of business. I probably know somebody that at least has a pretty good idea to help with that. You need someone that's got to fix your financial stuff this way, that knows this system. Probably know somebody that's worked with it before. That's what I really am looking for, is to be able to, because my goal is, whether I do it or not, I want to give every business owner the opportunity to succeed. There will be enough of them that will pay us to do what we need to do if they want the help to do it. But even if you don't, I don't care. I'll talk to you. I'll give you help. I'll put you in touch with the right people, because you may never have been someone that connected with me, liked me, wanted to work with us, maybe you wanted to do it yourself. That's cool. Do it yourself. If you can't, you want somebody, we can talk about it. Talk with somebody else. But I want my main goal in our company is with no doubt about it, we want to give business owners the option to succeed. They won't pay us. That's great. I'd love it if I can help more. Because I tell you, at the end of the day, it is such an exciting thing when you see somebody that was literally wondering what in the hell they were going to do a few years earlier. And now they're contemplating what they're going to do with millions of dollars. And I'm not talking about people that already have millions of dollars.
Right.
I'm talking about people that have worked their ass off to get that money, and just what that does, because they never even considered that they could be creating generational wealth, or a college fund for their kids, or maybe a second home, or whatever the heck it does.
Yeah.
And even in their 40s and 50s, because most of our clients are younger, because they've decided that they want to generate wealth and go do something else.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that. So remember, folks, mindset and be all in. Those are the takeaways. Not only mindset for yourself, but mindset for your clients, because like you said, and I'm sure you get that cocky customer that, thinks they know everything until you sit down with them, and then it's like you just pierced their balloon and they deflated, right? But some people really need to know exactly what's going on, so that when they go to retire, then they find out once they've retired that they really can't retire.
Yeah.
And that would be more devastating than getting the news that, hey, I'm wrong.
Yeah. They get to die at their desk. I mean, that's literally what happens to a lot of business owners, is they don't have enough money if they sold their business, so they run it until they physically can't run it anymore. And, that's, look, I've got blog posts on our website about dying at your desk. It's, it's not a pretty thing. And it happens. How many times does someone know someone where a business owner has literally died and their family is left to figure it out? It happens. Right. And, when you can look at this early in life and really realize that, listen, I may want to go until I'm 70. That's cool. maybe that's what I want to do. But if I have the option to retire when I'm 50 and do whatever the hell I want, or 40, whatever the number is that you really want, I have that option then.
Yeah.
You know, and that's power then right there, because you can decide what you want to do, because you're what you think today will change tomorrow.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
we all get to deal with the clock, the hourglass, and that hourglass changes what's important to you as you go. And I'm long in the tooth enough to know how that changes.
Yeah.
And when you get to change, see how that changes, when you're in your 30s and 40s, you may not think that about grandkids or about traveling with your wife or friends and what you want to do. You're thinking about work, generating money, and those kind of things. But when you hit that time, you will want to do that.
Yep.
And if you can, that's great. If you can't, it really sucks.
So that's your target. That right there is your target client. Right there. People that, you tell me your target market. I guess. I think so, but I want to hear it from you.
These are business owners, and typically we were working with manufacturing, e-commerce, construction, and some healthcare people. That's what we do. We've done some software as a service, but the overwhelming thing that each of our clients is like, I want to generate wealth with my business enough to do what I want to do next. Sometimes it's to retire, sometimes it's start another business, do whatever else, invest in other things. But I want to generate wealth with my business, and then I want to get out of it.
Right.
And I want to take that wealth and do something else.
Yes. I love that.
That's what it is. And then it's just pick the number.
Mm-hmm.
And we pick the number. We help them figure out what that number is, and get there.
What is the best thing that you like about what you do?
Seeing the value grow. Oh my goodness. I mean, I had a client. This is one of the coolest freaking things that's happened to me in the last couple of years. I've got a client that honestly took over a family business, and it was a good business. It's a 50-year-old business, but never really made a lot of money. And it's making a fair amount of money now. And so much so that it was able to buy another house, a vacation home. Awesome. And it was actually bought it from grandparents that there was no one else to keep it in the family. And he was able to do that and keep it in the family. And that's incredible, Mm-hmm. And that is probably one of the coolest things. Another time I was able to, we had a client that was able to set up, he had 4 children and was able to set up a trust for each one of his children for $1 million that they couldn't get until they were older and that kind of stuff. But holy heck, how cool is that? I mean,
that's a legacy you're living.
Yeah, exactly. You're leaving a legacy, right? That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to help these people leave the business and life legacy that they want. And then, the countless charity, the amount of charity that you see some of these people, the contributions and the time. And, we've got some clients that do an awful lot, have their own charities, and see the profitability of the business grow and see how that just helps those charities grow is really cool. I mean, those are the kind of things that make it worth it. And it's quite honestly what drove me out of the investor owned kind of work, because I see the impact of this. I don't see the impact if I put another $5 million in the value of a business that's owned by, an investment group that has, 500 people in it. I don't see it. And to them, it's more money, but it's more money on top of other money. I want to make a difference in people's lives. And that's what we love to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I love everything that you said there. That is, and you can see your passion, like it comes oozing out of you. It's just like, bam, there it is. So if you are somebody who would love to take your business retire, find out exactly how much you really have in it so that you can make that smart decision whether to retire or not. Definitely get a hold of Damon today. His information is in the comments, it's on our show notes. I put your LinkedIn profile information and I put your website. Is there anywhere else that you would like them to contact you, Damon?
No, that's cool. That's cool. LinkedIn's a good place to hit me up, but they can get our website, exityourway.com. Yeah. I'm on there. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Those two, but it's LinkedIn and our website are the best place.
Awesome. Well, thank you to our guests that have been in the comments. Thank you to Damon, our amazing guest. And is there any last words that you want to leave our guests with today?
Yes. Don't wait too long. I mean, this is a hell of a lot easier if you look at this in your 30s and 40s than it is if you look in your 60s. Because getting to that point and realizing that I can't sell my business. Because again, I said 75 or 80% do not get sold. And then you go, oh, I could, but I'm not going to get enough money. I mean, how disappointing is that, working for that many years and get to that point and not be able to do anything, and then you can't retire. But if you get there early, you can retire whenever you feel like it, or do whatever you want next.
Right. I love that. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Act now.
Don't wait.
Contact Damon today.
Contact somebody. I mean, just figure it out. Get going. Get a financial planner to help you figure out what you need. Because, man, that's where it starts. And if you can't get your business to the size that it's going to generate that wealth for you, get some help doing it.
Exactly. Listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about. With that, folks, thanks for another great episode of the Power Half Hour, Unstoppable Business Owner. We'll see you again next Wednesday at 5:30. Have a great evening, folks.
Thank you.